hunting for fouls.
His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court.
And not one guy dribbling it 20 times and hoist something up like Luka does with the Mavs.
It was real bad for like 5-6 straight possessions. It was like, yeah, but you can't take him out. Right? It was that bad. Like if he didn't have the offensive game he was going, this is one of them situations you would have been like, JJ just gonna leave him out there? Like it was bad.
Luka Dončić is the worst defensive star that we've seen in the modern era of basketball.
No offense creation. Alley-oop, counted on a foul.
Last night I was expecting Wemby to be the best defensive player on the floor. That happened to be Luka. 5 steals, 2 blocks. Luka Dončić all over the place making the impact.
Luka Dončić wasn't meant to lock down defenders like this. He wasn't built to move this explosively. And he definitely wasn't supposed to out-defend Victor Wembanyama. But right now, it's happening. And the entire league is watching in disbelief. Dallas had no clue at the time, but when they traded Luka, they didn't just shake up their roster. They shifted the entire balance of the Western Conference. The moment Luka landed in a legitimate system with a real offensive mastermind and teammates he personally recruited, he transformed into something Dallas never thought possible: the heartbeat of a championship-caliber offense. He's now responsible for 57 points per game through his scoring and playmaking, more offensive production than entire second units from teams like Detroit and Sacramento. Dallas didn't just trade away a star, they traded away an entire offensive ecosystem. And those weaknesses they used to justify the move? Los Angeles wiped them out overnight. He wasn't difficult to build around, he just needed a front office that would actually listen to him. So Luka got to work. He recruited DeAndre Ayton. He brought in Marcus Smart, and for the first time in his career, the roster was built specifically around his strengths. Look at what's happened since the trade. The Lakers are 8-3 with a top 10 offense, and Luka is running a system designed to squeeze value out of every single possession. Meanwhile, Dallas is still searching for answers. Realizing too late that they didn't escape a problem, they created one for themselves. The second Luka walked into that Lakers facility, everything shifted. JJ Redick didn't just inherit a superstar, he inherited the most complete offensive weapon in basketball, and he immediately built the entire structure around him. So every 40-point triple-double Luka drops now, it's not surprising anymore. It's what happens when you give a generational talent the machine he needs to operate at full capacity. Dallas didn't just give up a superstar, they handed him the support system he'd been missing for years. And Los Angeles, they put it to work immediately. But it's not just the system that changed. Luka changed too, way before the season even started. At 26 years old, instead of falling back into old habits, he rebuilt himself from scratch. He dropped 18 pounds, cut his body fat from 14% down to 8.5%, redesigned his frame for speed and explosion, not bulk. His trainer, Javier Barrio, said it best: "We stopped trying to make him stronger. We started making him faster." And the results showed up before he even got back to Los Angeles. Eurobasket 2025 was the preview. He led the entire tournament in steals at 3.2 per game, topped Slovenia in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, earned an All-Star 5 selection and a Best Defender nomination. And he said he felt way less gassed than he had in years. The physical transformation reshaped what was possible. The right system gave that possibility a home. And once those two things clicked, everything the league thought it knew about workload and efficiency went out the window. Every era of basketball has its golden rules, and the biggest one is this: the more you do, the less efficient you become. Every front office analytics department swears by it. It's the law of diminishing returns. Usage rate goes up, true shooting percentage goes down. Even legends bleed efficiency under heavy workloads. Luka used to follow that rule like everyone else. In Dallas, whenever his usage climbed into the mid-30s, 36%, sometimes 37%, his efficiency would drop. Even last season in Los Angeles, when his workload dipped to 33.8%, his true shooting sat at 58.7%. Great numbers, but still playing by the rules. This season, he broke them. Usage rate, 38.5%, the highest of his career. True shooting, 62.8%, also career high. More responsibility than ever, more scoring efficiency than ever. Nobody has ever done that. Not James Harden in 2019, not Michael Jordan in 1988. Luka is doing it better than both, while touching the ball on nearly 3 out of every 4 possessions. His offensive load, 72.6%, the highest ever recorded in NBA history. Higher than Harden, higher than Westbrook, higher than anything he ever carried in Dallas. Smart's open, Smart hits it, and here's the part the stats don't capture. The Lakers didn't overhaul Luka, they overhauled everything around him. Under JJ Redick, the Lakers slowed things down. They went from a top 10 pace team to 21st in the league. Precision over chaos. Defenses are now forced to figure out Luka instead of the other way around. The spacing tightened, the timing sharpened, weak side actions synced into a clear rhythm. The 5-out structure creates advantages before Luka even starts his move. In Dallas, he held the ball for 8.8 seconds per touch, forced to create every single advantage himself. In Los Angeles, the advantage is already there. His touch time drops to 6.1 seconds, almost 3 full seconds saved. Dallas made him manufacture everything. 48% of his possessions were pick and rolls, constant traps, forced pull-ups with the shot clock dying. Los Angeles flipped the script. Redick's spacing and timing build the advantage first. Luka just picks how to exploit it. And the impact shows up everywhere. His pick and roll efficiency jumped from 0.92 to 1.18 points per possession. His isolation rate climbed to 28%, not because he's forcing bad shots, but because the floor finally creates the space those plays need. And at the center of it all is a simple trio: Luka Dončić, Austin Reaves, and DeAndre Ayton. It's the Lakers' most efficient 3-man lineup. Reaves is averaging 22, 5, and 5 on elite shooting splits. Ayton's screens create clean 4-on-3 situations. For the first time in Luka's career, the system hands him the advantage, and he capitalizes ruthlessly.
He's now 3 of 7 from three-point range. Came into the game shooting 29%, bad pass. And that's another steal for Doncic. Alley-oop to Ayton.
And this is where the numbers stop making sense. Luka is generating offense at a rate in the 99.9th percentile of all seasons ever recorded from any player in any era. Top 3 all time when you normalize it per 100 possessions. That's the rule breaker. A workload that should kill efficiency is creating it instead. A superstar who used to grind for every advantage is now thriving in a system that generates them for him. Even with Luka finally settled in Los Angeles, the 2025-26 season started in complete chaos. LeBron James, his childhood hero and now his teammate, was sidelined with sciatica. From opening night on, the Lakers were Luka's team to run, and he answered the call immediately. Opening night, 43 points against Golden State. Game 2, 49 points against Minnesota's number 2 ranked defense. 92 points in 2 games, the most ever by a Laker to start a season, passing Jerry West in 1969 and jumping past Michael Jordan for 4th all time. After a brief absence, he came back and kept rolling. 200 points in his first 5 games, averaging 40, 11, and 9 on 50% shooting. The first player in history to open a season averaging 45 and 5 assists. But his scoring was just part of the surge. The entire offense elevated with him. When he's on the court, the Lakers' three-point volume jumps 6%, and the spacing finally looks like a real modern system. When he sits, the offense collapses, and the offense drops to bottom-tier efficiency. 7 to go, and they tap him. Oh, knocked away inside. Swiped by Edwards. It's loose. Doncic in time.
7 to go, and they trap him. Oh, knocked away inside, swiped by Edwards. It's loose. Doncic in.
Through 10 games, Luka matched Wilt Chamberlain's legendary 37.1 points per game. But Wilt did it in the fastest-paced era the league has ever seen. Adjusted for today's pace, Wilt drops to 30.5. Luka stays at 37.1. He's not matching history, he's rewriting it. This wasn't a hot start. This was a warning shot. For years, Luka Dončić was supposed to be the target, the weak link on defense, the mismatch you hunted until you got the easy bucket. That was the scouting report. Not anymore. Last postseason, he defended more isolations than anyone in the league and held scorers to 0.66 points per possession. This season, on the fourth most isolation reps in the NBA, he's allowing just 0.76 points per possession. Elite numbers for any defender, let alone the offensive engine of an NBA team.
Opponents shot 39.1% all defensive territory, and he's grabbing a 31.1% defensive rebounding rate.
When he's the primary defender, opponents are shooting just 39.1%, elite defensive territory. And he's grabbing a 31.1% defensive rebounding rate, production you'd expect from a big man, not a heliocentric guard forward. And then came the game that proved the old scouting report was officially dead. November 5th in San Antonio, Luka dropped 35 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. And on the 2 biggest possessions of the game, he locked down Victor Wembanyama one-on-one. The league's most intimidating interior presence couldn't get past the player pundits once labeled the worst defensive star of the modern era. Struck first as he made it clear that the Lakers were in for a long night on the boards. Wembanyama called him impossible to move. Marcus Smart heard the numbers and just shook his head. He's not just an offensive player anymore. He's a two-way player. Luka used to overwhelm teams with offense alone. Now he's pressuring them on both ends, cutting off angles, closing space, forcing turnovers, all while carrying the same massive offensive load. Luka didn't transform in a vacuum. He escaped the version of himself that had to solve every possession solo. In Dallas, every advantage started from zero. Every read, every rotation, every bailout. It wasn't just inefficient, it was exhausting. Every trip down the floor felt like he had to create something out of nothing. Los Angeles flipped the equation. JJ Redick didn't ask Luka to reinvent himself. He built a system that finally matched the way Luka sees the game.